everyone, this is Attorney Lilian with Lilly Legal, and I am here today with your Tuesday tip. And this tip is going to be a little different, okay? I'm going to be telling you a little story, and within that story, you'll be getting your tip, okay? So, if you find this helpful, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you are watching in a place where you can subscribe. So, the story today starts with a potential client walking in. She really wants to know how she can go ahead and remove the condition on her green card, even though that she's in the process of getting a divorce, and is not sure how to even prove the relationship because there were restraining orders. So basically, she came in, we started talking. She had restraining orders against her from her husband, and there were issues about her possibly violating the restraining order, a whole set of issues going on. But the main issue she wanted to get help in solving from me is, how do I remove the condition, right? So if you've watched my previous videos on how to remove condition, you know that you either file jointly with your spouse, there was a divorce, there is extreme hardship, or there was abuse. So in this situation, we had all three of the waivers, right? We had abuse, we had divorce, and we had extreme hardship because she had like 3 children that she was solely responsible for and had no other family members that can care for those kids. There was abuse in the relationship. However, she was the one that was charged. She was the one that actually had the restraining order. Okay. And then there was a divorce, except the divorce wasn't final yet. So we had to figure out the best way to move forward. So we checked off all the boxes, right? Divorce, abuse, extreme hardship. Because if the officer decides that, okay, the divorce is not final yet, so we're not going to approve it on the divorce, well, there's also abuse. So now the officer has to look at the abuse to see if that's enough. If that's not enough, there's extreme hardship. So look at all these reasons why you should still approve it, even though you think the divorce is not final or that the abuse, it doesn't rise to the level where you can approve the case, right? So these are the different steps that we went through in order to get this case approved. So we went through that process, had to wait almost 4 years. 4 years of follow-ups and all of that to get an interview. We got an interview, and my client started freaking out because when she got the restraining order, she didn't have time to really get a lot of her items that showed their relationship. She only had like whatever was in her email, which wasn't a lot. But me being a lawyer, I knew that the restraining order is proof of the relationship. Okay, when it comes to removal of condition, all the officer is looking at is whether the marriage was entered into in good faith, whether the marriage was real. Okay, not whether it was still viable, not whether you're still married, but whether it was entered into in good faith. So the officer, literally, we went in there. My client was freaking out because she really wasn't sure if the officer will approve it because of the restraining orders and the violation of restraining order charge that she had. So we went in there and the officer literally asked my client like 10 questions. Most of it was about the restraining order, the circumstances around the restraining orders, right? And not a lot about the spouse, not a lot about, where they lived, all those things that we were expecting. And at the end, the officer basically said, my only job here is to determine whether your marriage is real. And clearly it is, because there's all these restraining orders. If someone was trying to fake a marriage, this is a really, really difficult way to do it. Like, you are putting yourself in a horrible situation in order to basically get a green card, the officer looked at the situation and was like, there's no way someone will go through that. And if someone is willing to go through all of this, they deserve it. Okay. So again, it's not just about whether you have a lease, whether you have all those other pictures and all those things. But if you have alternative evidence of your relationship, the officer will accept that. And a restraining order is basically saying, hey, stay away from your marital home. Hey, stay away from your spouse. That is you showing, right? That is basically the government, the court system saying, you are married to this person, you two live together, and you need to stay away from your spouse and your marital home. Okay, so again, don't freak out if you have a restraining order. There are ways around it. There are ways that it actually helps to show your relationship, especially if the only thing you need to show for a removal of condition is that your marriage was real. Okay, so that is your tip for today. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.